Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, what I want to talk about is a little bit about what to expect when going back to work after maternity leave, as well as following that with some tips to hopefully make that transition easier for you. As mothers, we go through so much with having a baby, adjusting our lives, our lifestyles, and then having to think about going back to work. It's a whole lot to take in, and hopefully I can make your life a little bit easier. So what to expect when going back to work? The number one thing that I have to say is you're going to be tired. I know that goes without saying. Right now, you already know I'm already tired. That's just part of my life now. And I have to be honest, it is a part of your life now. You're going to be tired for a while. I was stressed out with going back to work, with how I was going to get through my day, with being so tired, my son not sleeping through the night, me feeling like I wasn't getting adequate sleep, and then thinking about getting up in the morning and having my work brain on and getting things done just seemed impossible. But I have to say, or I have to reassure you that you just do it. You will be tired. You probably won't be getting adequate sleep, at least for a while, but you just do it. You get up, you go, you do what you have to do because this is part of your life, and you just get through it because you're a mom and you're a boss, and that's just how it is. You can also expect you're going to be thinking about a baby all the time, and I mean all the time. Switching to that sort of work brain and turning off the mom brain is not easy, especially if you have your baby in a daycare or something like that, and they're not at home, you can't check on them. Your mind is going to be racing all about baby, especially in the beginning. And it is a really difficult transition, and I just want to put that out there because once it hits you, it can be really emotional, really difficult to deal with, and honestly quite lonely. I have found that a lot of things in motherhood can be lonely, and I'm here to assure you that you're not alone. We go through this, we get through it, it's okay, you will get through it. It will get easier and you will figure it out. This one probably depends more on what it is that you do for a living, but myself, for example, I work in the tech industry, and this expectation is just to be rusty. I came back to work, and honestly, some of the things that I used to be able to get done really quickly or knew really top of mind just didn't work that way for me anymore. It took me a little while to feel like I was in the groove again and actually feeling on top of it. A lot of things I had to look back to my notes, or I had to kind of research on how to do that I just couldn't quite remember. Being out of the game for a few months of maternity leave really kind of made an impact for me, at least, with being rusty. I think it pairs with thinking about baby, right? Where I feel rusty, maybe not just because I've forgotten things, but also because I am thinking about baby and trying to kind of multitask thinking about baby with all of the work tasks that I have to get done. So just kind of putting it out there, expect to be rusty. At least that would be my advice. Don't let it get to you. If you are, know that you're not alone, and that's totally okay, and you'll get back to it once your groove kind of comes back. It's just maybe not going to be immediate, and that's okay. I also have to say that productivity-wise with work, I think it took a while for me to feel like I was genuinely being productive and kind of had my system in place and felt back to my normal work self. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, it probably took me a good 3 months to feel like I was back in it and really productive like my normal old self. Not everyone will have the luxury to take 3 months of slow kind of getting back into it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It all depends on what you do, but I just think that it's a good expectation to kind of set that it's going to take you some time to get back up to your pre-pregnancy normal productivity. Some people, I'm sure, will kind of snap back into it and be their amazing previous selves without any hesitation. That just wasn't the case for me. And if that's not the case for me, I know that I'm not alone. I know that that's going to be the same for some other people, right? So if you're anything like me, just be patient with yourself and know that it's okay. It'll come back. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Give yourself a little bit of grace in, trying to get back to your same level of productivity. Okay, So now I want to talk about the tips that I have for that transition back to work. So my first tip for getting ready to go back to work is set up your childcare well in advance. You might tour a few places and find that you don't like them. Maybe the one that you like has a waiting list because they can only have so many kids at once. So just make sure that you start to plan for that ahead of time. If you plan on having a nanny at home, the interview process might take a while. And I would also recommend that if you did have a nanny at home, you should give them a trial run before work. So maybe have them come in a couple of days, a few weeks in advance to make sure that you like them and they're compatible with your baby and with your family and that they're a good fit for you. Finding that right fit might take a while, and you do not want to have to deal with that stress while you're working, thinking about replacing your nanny or, thinking about having to fire your nanny because you're realizing that it's not a good fit. So all in all, set up your childcare well in advance so it's not something that you have to worry about when you're just getting back to work. My second tip for the transition back to work is really for yourself and for your self-confidence and your self-esteem. This is go shopping. So a lot of people might think, well, I don't want to spend money. I'm not going to be this size forever just until I get the baby weight off and that kind of thing. And let me tell you, there's nothing worse than putting on clothes it doesn't fit, or it makes you feel frumpy, or it makes you feel, like a sausage. Whatever the case is, go shopping, buy yourself some pieces that make you feel good about yourself now. Whatever size you are now, that's some clothes that you need to buy. That's the clothes that you need to buy. And I'm not saying go buy an entire new work wardrobe for, your postpartum body. What I'm saying is go buy yourself a few pieces that are going to make you feel good, that you can get up in the morning, put on, and you know that your confidence is there, you look good, you feel good. Those things matter when you're going back to work. You want to feel good about yourself. And that's also going to play into your productivity and how your kind of work days go, right? If you start off feeling great, chances are you're going to have a really good work day as well. And those things are important. So what I suggest to help your mornings go smoother, number one is going to be pick out your outfits in advance. Even if it's just the night before picking out your outfit for the next day, at the very least do that. The last thing that you want to do in the morning when you're trying to get ready and trying to get your baby ready and get out the door is going to be trying on, 10 different outfits because you don't know what to wear, or it doesn't fit good, or you don't feel good in it, and that kind of thing. So I promise you, this is like a game changer. Pick out your outfit the night before and your entire morning, your entire day will just go that much easier. So my next tip, kind of also following in line with prepping, is taking a shower the night before. I pretty much my whole life have been a shower in the morning kind of person, but now since having a baby, becoming a working mom, I have found that taking a shower at night just makes my life that much easier. So along with the prep for everything else, once baby goes down for bed, I am getting ready for bed myself, right? So for me, that means taking a shower, picking out my outfit, doing as much as I can. So I might blow dry my hair, maybe even style it at night and then let it sit while I'm hanging out and sleep on it, and then just do touch-ups the next morning. That I have found to be very helpful. All in all, it's taking a shower at night, picking out my outfit for the next day, doing as much of that prep as I can. Let me also kind of just put this out there. We're talking about the work week, okay? The weekends are something different. But for the work week, this is kind of just what works for me and what I think would work or help any other working mom as well. Next piece of prep that I recommend, if you're sending your baby to daycare, prep their bag. So it could be prepping their diaper bag, make sure you have their bottles washed, and have your plan for whether you're gonna do breast milk or whether you're gonna do formula. If you're gonna do breast milk and maybe you have it in the freezer, you can take those bags out of the freezer and put them in the fridge so that they can thaw out overnight. Just any little thing like that to help you prep in advance. I like to think of it as much as I can do the night before, I will, and leave the kind of last minute things for the morning. The things that you have to do in the morning, leave those for the morning, right? Like you have to get your baby dressed in the morning. You're not gonna put them in their daycare clothes the night before, right? Or if you are doing formula bottles, you're not going to make their formula bottles the night before. It's probably better if you just do it in the morning, right? And you take those. In the morning, of course, you're going to need a little bit of time to do your makeup, touch up your hair, get dressed, get baby dressed, and grab all your things and head out the door. One thing I can say is that I have found with my baby that the time that it used to take me to get ready, I can think, oh, it only takes 10 minutes to, change his diaper and put his clothes on and then take him out. Guaranteed you're going to need more time. Babies are fussy, they're running around the house, or you're trying to do all these other things. Everything always just ends up taking more time. So however much time you think you need to get ready in the morning, let's say you know that you need at least an hour to get ready for yourself and to get baby ready and get out the door, I would say give yourself at least 30 minutes more than that. It's going to take you more time no matter what you think. It just always does, and it's better safe than sorry. So my last tip for this transition back to work really is knowing that it's going to be hard, and give yourself some grace. It's going to be hard to go back to work. I don't see any way around it. Some people might think, oh, I'll be so excited to go back to work and be around adults again and use my brain for something different again. And while that is true, it's still incredibly difficult. It's so difficult to be away from your baby when you've been with them 24/7 for the last, 4 months, or, however long it's been. Even if you're going back after 6 weeks, that's even harder because there's so much more helpless and you know that they need you. So know that it's going to be hard, but also just give yourself some grace, accept that it's going to be hard, accept that it's going to take you some time to get back into it, and that's okay. You're not alone. Every other mom that's working, or not working, every other mom goes through these things. That separation is really tough. It's a big deal. And honestly, it's really sad that in this country, we go back to work so quickly after having a baby. I feel like I wasn't really ready to be separated from my baby like that until he was probably a good 6 months at least. Once he was 6 months, going to work became a little bit easier, not only because I've been doing it at that point for a little while, but I think because he's older and he was, sitting up and, not as helpless, not as fragile, I guess I could say. So again, just know that it's going to be hard, but accept yourself with some grace and give yourself, a little bit of time, and don't feel bad. Don't feel bad that it's hard. Don't feel bad that, you're not getting as much done at work right away, because trust me, every other mom is going through the same thing. And we're in this together. We'll get through this. You'll get through this. It'll get easier, I promise. So that's it for today. I hope that these tips or this conversation at least helps you feel a little bit better and puts the stress and anxiety at ease about going back to work. I promise you'll get through this and it will get easier. So if you like this video, please subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.